Hello, everyone. It is Self-Care Sunday, Self-Care Edition. How are you? And you, but especially you. Yes, you. How are you doing tonight? Tell me about it. It is great to have you here tonight. Great to have you here as always, whether you're watching live or watching the recording. I got you. I'm just glad to be here with you. Boom. I can get my screens going here. I think they're coming up. Boom, is that making it go live big? There we go. Hey, Carrie and Lou, how are you? A race for first. Carrie in first. Great to have you here. How are things in Florida? Actually, I saw pictures of Florida today. It looked sunny. It looked sunny. Cold in the Northeast today. Cold, actually raw. Yesterday was, cloudy and stuff, but not as raw as today was. Today was pretty raw out there, but it is. This is the yin yang of the season. Yin yang. 85. Ooh, I could have used some of that today. I could have used some 85 today. That is nice. That is nice, but we will see. It won't be too much longer, and we'll see more consistent weather. But at least some of the rain and stuff we got this week, if it was snow, it would have been a lot worse. So not snow. Cassandra was worried that I jinxed myself. She's worried that this rain tonight's going to end as snow because I put the shovels away last night or yesterday. Yesterday, sometime yesterday. I was like, I put the ice melt and the shovels away. And she's like, you're jinxing yourself. And I'm like, well, our plow guy sent what he thinks is the final bill of the year. So I was like feeling confident. I was feeling energized. I was feeling confident. And, and so that was the way I went with it. She says I might be jinxing myself. I might need that ice melt or something one more time. And I am overly ice melt. I know it's not something you need in Florida, Carrie, but Lou uses it, and I am overly generous with ice melt. As I have aged, I'm like I tiptoe on it. I'm like I just bury the driveway in it, and I just anytime there's anything out there, I just throw a ton of it out there. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Let's get started tonight. Let's get started with our opening quote. Our opening quote tonight is example, whether it be good or bad, has a powerful influence. Example, whether it be good or bad, has a powerful influence from George Washington. There you go. Okay, so Lou and I are on the same page. Put it away. Put it away. I thought when Johnny's my plow guy, and he put, he's old fashioned. He hand writes his bills. He doesn't email them or anything. He hand writes his bills and he puts a stamp on it and mails it to us. And the fact that he put that when we get a March bill, that March or April, that's it. That's his last bill of the year. Sometimes we get a bill in January or something when we've had a busy start to the year or something. Basically, on the little invoices he uses, when it gets to one page, he sends a bill. He drops it in the mail. But that's the way that goes. So I've got a great topic tonight. Let me get that going here tonight. Boom. Where did you guys go? There. Let me bring you over here. There you are. All right. So I thought we'd talk about money and good habits with that tonight. The state, and this has actually been, and the reason this topic, like most of my topics, I feel like I'm a Law and Order episode, ripped from the headlines. But these are real things with real stores really happening right now. I have dealt with this in the last week, and it's been real money, real money. So let's talk about that. Um, Reviewing your statements. If you don't review your statements, someone else controls your money. And so many, especially a lot of times when we're younger, but kids today, I mean, they don't teach in school how to reconcile your checkbook or to do it. They look online, the bank says they have this money, and if it feels right, they go through it. So, but when you don't review statements, vendors end up overcharging you, even innocently. I mean, things get slipped through the cracks. Duplicate charges on credit cards. A big one that's happening right now that I have seen a lot is checks cashed twice. And you're like, how can that happen? How can checks get cashed twice? And it happens because of the online banking. Well, let me phrase it. Back to online banking. It happens. People do an electronic, deposit, or what's called a mobile deposit, and then they find it sitting around their drawer or their house, and then they do a deposit at the bank, or even a mobile deposit again. And part of it is if the check number gets cut off or just comes through slightly differently, our banking system is relatively simplistic. And when they, it doesn't take much for a check to come through twice. It also doesn't take much for an amount to come through wrong. I have had stores with transposed numbers where the dollar figures are simple. It's a simple transposition, okay, but these mistakes happen. So reconciling. Now, I'm talking about this from a you perspective, that you need to do this, that you need to check this. But the reality is it doesn't have to be you, although you should have a finger on it, okay? You can have a bookkeeper. I know many of you use my preferred bookkeeper, Robin Norris, and her company, and that's great. Okay, if you use Robin, I'm a big lover of Robin, and that is fine. Okay, but you need to still have checks and balances. There needs to be things you check on periodically, and spot check. And you spot check these things because, like we covered a little while ago, that $10 million theft. Okay. And most of you are like, well, I would catch a $10 million theft, but would you catch a $10,000 one? Would you catch a $1,000 one or $100 one? The $10 million one doesn't start as $10 million. It starts as 100. It starts as $5. It starts as 10. It starts as little things. And there's been a bunch of other of those in the news lately, not ones that I've been involved in, but there have been a bunch of them in the news. It happens because you're busy doing everything else. You're busy running the floor. It's probably fine. My sister takes care of it. Okay, whatever. Okay. All these things are real. Trusting without verifying. So even Robin, I love Robin, but I'm going to trust and verify. And Robin's found lots of fraud in stores. We had there's one that immediately comes to mind where an employee was cashing consignor checks, and we had them for, I forget, $6,000 or $10,000 in a short period of time. We had a thing with that. I remember getting the call on that one with a store that is a mutual client of Robin's and mine. When that got caught. So I mean, Robin is good. Okay, I love her, but I still want to double check her. I still want to spot check what's happening. So it is very much a trust, but verify. Be aware of things. Look for extra fees. You're going to see extra fees now on your trash bill and on other things right now because of under the favorite title of fuel surcharge. There tends to be bill creep if you aren't paying attention. Your internet bill is a big area for that. Um, Credit card statements are a great area. Charges from vendors you don't recognize or no longer use. Amounts that don't match the invoices. Vendors that you don't recognize or no longer use. The other scam with that is very similar names. So the other thing that hackers do is charge things to places you're already charging, but very similar. Extra fees that are just there. When you call and talk to a bank about a fee, they'll usually remove it. We had, this goes back a long time. I remember where we had an employee steal, this was very creative, very creative. They took Cassandra's company credit card from her purse and they Xeroxed it and then put it back in her purse. So copied the credit card, put it back, and then put the credit card back in her purse. So she physically had her card. And they would charge things. They would put items up on eBay, children's items up on eBay, and like a high chair, children's new toys, a pack and play, anything like that, brand new in the box. And they would sell it, and then they would order that item from like Target and have it shipped to the person and charge the company credit card. So it looked like something we would buy. We might go to Target and buy something for the store. Okay. But it wasn't, that's not what was happening. So keeping an eye on this, the pro tip on this is setting a time, once a month just to look at things. Be aware. Be aware. I don't want you to manage by your balance. I don't want to manage by your credit card statement, but or your bank balance. But taking the time to actually look at it is important. For your retail vendors, compare your invoice to your purchase order or your SKU or what you actually authorized for ordering, even if you ordered off there. Everything, windows cleaners, trash pickup, pest control, cleaning crews. Did they actually show up? Were you charged for visits? Even our window cleaner calls, the owner of that periodically spot checks to make sure his people weren't just coming by and getting a signature, or that they weren't faking the signature on the slip. Internet utilities, that's a big one. Added fees, promotional pricing that expired, that's a big one with internet. And even trash companies. The big thing with those is watch how long your contracts are. But keep an eye on all this stuff. It doesn't have to be every day. You don't have to be a numbers person. But setting yourself a reminder once a quarter even is a great plan. I can't stress your bank statement enough. Deposits don't match what you actually brought in. Okay. I've had it before. I've had stores, the deposit, like a lot of times when you deposit cash, they circle it and stuff, but yet the deposit amount was different than went in the account. Simple transpositions happen all the time. Cash or checks posted the wrong account or the wrong amount. ACH polls is another big one. It's so easy to create an ACH poll. Service fees you don't know, you didn't know existed. And the double deposit check thing, like I said, is so common right now. It is happening on a regular basis. It doesn't take much for it to happen. It's not, it's honestly the fault that our banking system, the underlying of most of the things with the banks is pretty simplistic at the end of the day. They can talk all the fancy things they want, but it's pretty simplistic. So make it a monthly ritual. You look at your credit card, look at your invoices, any bills for services that you get. Especially right now with some of the things like trash, you're going to see added fees for fuel surcharges, and check and see what you authorized. and your bank statement to verify. Just create this habit. Hey, the payment card settlement. If you apply for paymentcardsettlement.com because you accepted Visa or MasterCard from January 1st, 2004 through January of 2019, payments have started going out on this. You can go to paymentcardsettlement.com and log in and see if your payment has been authorized or if it has been sent. These payments started in February on a rolling disbursement basis. So money is going out. It will be nowhere near what you were potentially eligible for. It told people they were potentially eligible for tens of thousands of dollars, but it will be, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars with some stores. It is real money. If you chose a paper check, just make sure you don't tear up what looks like junk mail coming in the mail because they bank on that. But whether you chose to receive an electronic payment or a check or a PayPal Venmo, this money is going out, and it is. You can check your status at paymentcardsettlement.com, but it'll show up. If you're getting an electronic payment, it will show up slightly differently in your bank account than your normal deposit for your credit card sales. It will look slightly different. Yes, there may be, and this is on a rolling basis. There may be more coming. There may be more coming. And the other thing, as people will remember, I told everyone often, if you've been in business a while, you likely had multiple merchant numbers to file under or multiple tax ID numbers, which is the bigger thing. Because a lot of times you start your store as a sole proprietorship, then you might become an LLC or an S Corp. But this money is going out. So just be aware of that. It's out there. It is coming. And it's just one of those nice surprises. You wake up one day and in your bank, boom, there's some money. Boom, there's some money. But I'm worried about two things. One, your checking account changed. So like if you changed banks, changed accounts, you closed an account, open a new one, that may need to get updated. So that's why going to payment card settlement is important. And the other is if you chose paper check, it doesn't always look like it's something like you're getting real money, but it's really a check. Any questions or concerns, just reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions or verify if it's legit or a scam. Because again, the scammers will be out in full force. So don't let that get you. So 3 things to do this week. Schedule your monthly statement review. Check the payment card settlement. And start a service log for anything that you have that people that come in. Your window washer, your store cleaner if you have one. Anything like that. If you have a seamstress or somebody else that comes and provides services in your store as an outsourced person, a service log. That's even what the big guys do. Go to the supermarket. They're great at it. They have a service log that everybody must sign into when the outside vendor comes in. Your money is your business. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got a great show coming up Wednesday. I got a great topic. It's all keyed up. I was telling Cassandra before this, earlier today, I was like, oh, I don't have a topic for tonight's show. And then I'm like, oh, I have a topic. I did it all already. I came up with another topic, and so sometimes my mind, the age, gets to me sometimes, but it's all good. What else is good? This video and everything I talk about goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, you can share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish, but if you have a question in between, just DM me. I'm easy to find. Easy to find. We start the program every night with an opening quote. Our opening quote tonight is example, whether it be good or bad, has a powerful influence. And our closing quote tonight is fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Ruth Bader Ginsburg on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, just like it is here with you every Sunday night. But until then, and until Wednesday at more 8 than ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you, yes, you, on Wednesday.